Hi. Beard needs a trim. Look, I don't know about all this extra. That's actually how big my head is. Look, looks weird, doesn't it? What a change! And then suddenly, had some absolutely cracking emails. Right, look, let's just be honest. Well, because the early doors, you lot, are like, hardcore scrubs, and props to you for that. But I don't like getting loads of emails because it's more work, even when they're nice and good news. But like I said earlier, I don't like to look at my emails over the weekend, even though I've got personal and work accounts. Because over the years, I've sent an email from the wrong account or whatever. They've all got a bit mixed up. And I have them all, even though I've got like 5, 6 addresses. And because I got in early, some of them are quite cool. I don't want to give them out for obvious reasons, but you've got them Chris at Chris Dangerfield. But I've got like one-word emails, like dog@gmail, because you could do that way back in 2001 or whenever it was, 2004. But so when you open your email and there's like 70, you're like, hey. And I know a lot of you will know that when you receive my replies, they're usually not very well punctuated, no capital at the first, and sometimes a bit small. Sometimes if it's something ignificent, it's a contraction between important and significant. How are we going to do that? Anyone got a contraction we can use of important and significant? I'll take your offers, please. But Anglo, did I tell you? Did I get to tell you about my? I've got to move that. About the top blade I brazed. I think I did, didn't I? Bloody lovely, and I've still got half of it frozen. I'm a little bit unsure about how you're meant to defrost that and make it edible again, but I'm sure I will. I suppose I'll just defrost it in the fridge, don't you? Cooked beef, defrost it, leave it in the fridge overnight. Signifiport we've got. That's not quite the same. That's like a different word. Hello, Libby. Hello, Rags. I am a little bit early, and I'll tell you why. What I done today was after the stream. I'm on it. I thought, right, all right, okay, you've got a day's work to do. Okay, no worries. You do it every week. You've been doing it for nearly 20 years. See, the mistake I've made for a long time, and some of you might identify with this, and it's much in line with what I was saying earlier. And look, if you didn't enjoy the stream earlier, but we had 120 odd people. I think nearly 400 came and went during it, which is always nice. I don't expect people to always be able to hang around for 2 hours. But, what's going on in my head is what comes out of my mouth. I can't really talk about things I'm not thinking about. But what I done was write down what needs to be done. Now, obviously, if you're part of an organisation where other people, that's a likelihood. So I counted for that as well. Randos. I put on the list, I put randos. That might be someone saying this. That might be someone saying, we haven't done this and we really should. And, I allocated for all of those. And I thought, right, do it in this order. Done it all. 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. That would usually take me about 6 hours. Because what I tend to do is not work efficiently. Because it gives you the illusion, that you're not grafting. We're talking about grafting. I'll get the grift sorted in a minute. If I'm halfway through a bit of work, then I might watch a video and just think, that can wait 10 minutes, and watch a little video, and then a message will come in. I'll sort of keep the video running and answer the message, and sort of be a bit like that, and sort of order my food halfway through and eat that while I'm watching a video, a bit of working. But actually, it's really inefficient, and it does. What happens when I do it like that is what is actually 2.5 hours work can take up to 6 hours, because I'm conning myself into thinking I'm having a relaxing time. Whereas if I actually just concentrate on the one thing, right, do this, don't watch videos in between, don't do this, don't, just get that done. And then when it's done, 2.5, well, it was about 2 3/4, let's say 2.5, 3 hours. When it's done, you've actually got real time then. Time enough to watch The Deer Hunter. I watched The Deer Hunter. I cried about 4 times. I cried during the first Russian roulette scene. And it's the reason I cried during that bit. I am a bit of a crier at movies as well. It's quite weird. It's quite sort of, it just sort of breaks out. I go, and then I just stop. It's not like a prolonged, it certainly doesn't become weeping, and it's not wailing. But I will get back to the topic, probably won't, is what's beautiful about that movie is not all the war stuff, because that's sort of interesting. You know, it's quite a remarkable opening scene. It's a bit unbelievable that they'd give him a gun with 3 rounds in it, but regardless. But it's because I know what happens, and I know, and what's heartbreaking about that movie and what the film's about, you know, it's a war film, but it's about how war changes individuals, and about how it dehumanizes people, and how it affects the people who didn't go, how it affects the people they go back to in that little town. And it's so sad. It's so sad, that little town in the late 60s, early 70s. And, you know, people just trying to put their lives back together and have romance and pleasures and family and community, when something that happened, you know, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of miles away, which no one really knew why they were there anyway, which wasn't supported by the people back home. I mean, you know, when they come back from the Second World War, there was people everywhere waving flags and welcoming them back as heroes. And they weren't welcomed back from Vietnam as heroes. They were spat on. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And I'll tell you one, and this is what I was talking about. Actually, I'm just getting into this. Let me get the grift out of the way quickly. I've got this now down to about 30 seconds after this little palaver. I'm so glad my mouse is working again. And the old Ethernet, amazing. Now, someone gave me a couple of super chats this morning that didn't appear to go through. I'm going to wait and see. They certainly didn't show up, but anything like that ever happens, you can get your money back. There is a way. So if ever that happens and you want that, let me know, because that's only fair enough. All right, but they usually do. Right, all right there. Hi. You can support this channel by becoming a member. That's the top link. There's private streams for members. There's 3 strata. One's about £1, one's about £4, one's about £7. The £7 one gets to see all 3 private streams. There's only 1 private stream a month. The second strata gets to see the 2 bottom ones, and the first strata just that one. Or super chat, the $ at the bottom of the chat, or entropy, which is in the description. I've just put it in the chat, and I'm going to pin it like a beagle. I don't want to hear myself talking like that. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Special thank you to everyone who put a like and a comment under the short. That is working like a dream at the moment. So nice one. YouTube got back to me about comments not being able to go on my community tab. They got back to me twice now. Both times haven't worked out what's happening. The last email I got from them, right? So I talked to them, actually live chat, but with someone. First email was someone got back to me. Oh, yeah, we've had a look at it, blah, blah, blah. Can you send us a screenshot, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, done all that. Wrote back another person. Oh, this is very strange. I mean, I've looked at your account. This isn't. I don't really know what's going on. Give me a bit more time. Right, no problem. I imagine they're quite busy up at the Tubes, up at Tubes Mansions. The email I got today, just computer-driven automatic reply. It would appear you are still having problems with your YouTube account. Have you considered the following? If you're still having these problems, please consider contacting YouTube as on your YouTube partner help platform. All right, what I did last week. Okay, we're back to the start. Lovely, lovely. Curious and polite watcher over there on Twitch. There's a load more of us over on YouTube, but it's a pleasure that you're on Twitch. I'm shirtless because it's currently 11 o'clock at night and 29 degrees. I am living in Cambodia. If I wear a t-shirt and talk for an hour or two, it will get sweaty and stay wet. And it's not nice wearing a sticky, wet t-shirt. Whereas naked, I've got a kramer on, and with a fan above me, it's absolutely beautiful. So look, even Fion's shirtless now. You're gonna get a naked protest around here. Yeah, Riggs, it made me it made me feel a bit pissed, because you talk to him, and it really depends on what individual you get, because this individual clearly got to the point where she thought, I don't know how to fix this. Bosh, standard reply, send you back for the start. So now I've literally got to go back to the start. And I did. I went back to it, got in the chat. Hi, my name's blah, blah, blah. What's your problem today? Yeah, you can't comment on my things. Oh, have you tried? Yes, I've done it all because I've been here before. And then you've just got to go, yeah, it's mad. But Skin Sky, if I write test, you can leave a comment. So it's because I'm linking to a video. Now, I've looked at the rules. I've looked at all the. I'm sorry, I don't really like talking about back end stuff. Oh dear, I always end up there though. But it's like you've got your comments set to off, checked, haven't. You've got your comments set to wait to look at them before you post them, haven't. And the other one is YouTube thinks that you're a bot and that you're just putting out live music or something like films, which I'm not. So that's their AI has failed. They are accidentally. It's the only option, and of course, it's the only one they haven't suggested. It's you, Dangerfield. No, it's you. But carry on. I know, Paul. It happens to it. They come and go, but that's all right. I was quite. It's nice to see Curious and Polite Watcher, though. That's a nice name. It made me feel a little bit nice. Hello, Rags. We're going to show that little motorbike thing. I don't know why. Yeah, Riggs. It's not only a computer reply that gets me. There's one thing worse than a computer reply, and that's when the address is no reply at whatever. Yeah, here's what we think. If you don't like it, lump it. Fuck off. I don't like no reply because if it's not sorted, what do you do? And it is not sorted. Whose birthday? It's Ian's dad's birthday. Happy birthday, father of Ian. Mousecat says, I always strip to the waist when Cambodian Chris is streaming. It'd be rude not to. Well, I think what I need to do, I need to set up another merch store. I didn't really like that lot. I mean, it's nice that there's some rare items out there. If you've got a Dangerfield shirt, I think I sold about 60 in the end across all merch. It wasn't the most popular. What's going on here? It wasn't the most popular store. But if you've got one, they're so rare. They're so rare. They're going to go down in history, I tell you. Oh, amazing. But I think if I get a new store, I'm going to have to get the old crammers in the store. I'll tell you what, though, damn comfortable. It's proper commando. I'm not going to be gupping my balls if I don't have to. Just wake up, have a wash, wrap the Crimea around. I went to the restaurant today with it. Takeaway, though. I'm not going to sit in there with a chance of my ollocks rolling off the chair and then just swinging low, sweet chariot. No. Happy birthday, Mr. Ian. Barney says a nice white cotton vest and hanky knotted around the head would be nice. Well, all I really wear, if I don't wear a suit, it's a pair of blue jeans and a white t-shirt. But I'll thank you, Barney, for the suggestion. I don't like wearing wife beaters. It's not a look for me. Some blokes can pull it off. I mean, you can pull it off in the right posture. That's the weird thing about the old vest. If you've got the right posture, you can pull it off. But sitting here with a vest, I'm not feeling. You got to be standing up, looking cool as an adult male to wear a vest, not sitting down with your anti-glare glasses on, going, hey, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't wish to look cool, but I do wish to not look uncool. Hello, uncle. But you know what I mean? I'm well past thinking you got to look cool, man. Of course, it shows, right? But I don't want to look uncool, and a vest is. I don't know about a vest. I'm certainly not going to go for the four corners of handkerchief. Hello, Jays. We've got a couple of them over there on Twitch today. You got your own little party. Wolfie's got a very special Dangerfield vest. Oh, I know what you mean. I reckon I know what you mean by that. I reckon someone bought it for you. I reckon someone very special bought it for you. Or someone very special gave it to you. Jared wears the old wife beater. There you go. Bunyan's Latimer, who I've got no idea who it is. Are you new around here, or are you a lurker? Are you previously lurking? I mean, you're more than welcome, mate. All the more the better. But Bunyan's Latimer doesn't sound familiar. I mean, I do tend to forget. Schrodinger's Gaffney puts in a little dig and says you need a pair of shoulders. Nothing wrong with those, mate. Nothing wrong with those, mate. All right, there we go. Yesterday, no, there's something absolutely. I can't stand body stockings. I remember back in the days when I used to look at porn. You see a woman in a lace body stocking, and even worse with the crotch cut out. It's like, ooh, yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something about it I don't like. Oh, amazing. Well, that's all right. Well, are you Jay? Are you the Jay I think it is? I mean, you've got your 420, and I know a Jay who's permanently stoned, and of course, it's not affecting him at all. I will be so sensitive. It's what's got me through life. Therapist said it to me. He said you developed an oversensitivity, like you've correctly identified, Gaffney. He said, as a child, to your surroundings. He said, and it's actually what's made you a survivor. He said, however, and you're right, Gaffney. He said, however, there's a time and a place to use skills we've developed. And I was like, so you absolutely nailed it. No, exactly. I'm agreeing with you. You caught me right there. It is a thing. Mick Scrub. What the hell is going on? I don't know. I thought we were going to see loads of G's today. I mean, I meant to do it, but I forgot. I wonder if I can change it now. No, if I press any of those buttons, I reckon I'll disappear. Let me see. Oh, hang on. Edit audio avatar. Do you reckon that's... All right, if I go, I'll be back. 3, 2, 1. No, that wasn't what I was after. Anyway, it was going to be Danger G, yeah. Chris G. No, Danger G. I never thought of it, Emma. You've always been on the G firm. This morning's stream, Jared. It's all these all these, I don't know what you'd call them, sort of hard men streamers. Danny G, Darren G, the original Scotty G, GG, Odyssey Channel. It's all part of the G plan, G string. There's lots of things, G force. I mean, we've got to stop this. So this is Michael Pagan has just outright said lumberjack. He just that was his contribution. Can you hear that? It's weird living in Cambodia. It is the sort of place where I wouldn't be that surprised if a few tanks sort of started rolling down the street. I was quite shocked. Shocked is the wrong word, actually. That's exactly the wrong word. I was shocked that I wasn't surprised. You see what I've done there? Switcheroony. When I saw that 50 cal behind the sandbags on the corner of the street, just over there, about 50 meters over there. It was when the exiled, I've got to be really careful here, the exiled opposition leader threatened to come back and march to Parliament, or whatever they call it out here, with millions of people in his firm. And as soon as he said that, there was fully automatic anti-tank weapons on the street corners. I mean, most streets around here have, I don't know what they're called. There's like a little, like the old police boxes you got in England, like the TARDIS, I suppose. And they're open. There's, what the fuck was that? Hello, who's killing me? They're coming tonight, I tell you. Yeah, absolute. Hello, Wing Commander. Been a while since I see you. Absolutely bizarre. But every street has a soldier on it, a man in uniform, combat uniform, not dress, with a Kalashnikov. And the Kalashnikovs look knackered and old. They're sort of from the war. And they'll have it swung over their back. Sometimes you see them just sort of balancing it because they're bored and letting it spin. Sometimes they're just holding it up on like that, walking up and down. Every street has one of these people. It's quite weird. Skin Scar's gone in for 80 quid a G. Andrew just said Sanger. Hello, Liberty at La Sierra. GGG was a great boxer. I'm getting lost now. Rusky G has got a shield. What's the name? I had a cat named Kalashnikov. It's quite a nice name though, isn't it? I think it was the original one Andre. Is it Andre Kalashnikov? I don't know. Yeah, King Corona. You see him hanging around holding their Kalash like a G. It's quite weird though. You can like ask them the time and then just think, why has he got an automatic weapon? But the crazy thing about round here is not crazy, the interesting, the different thing is that that they like the police. The locals like the police. There's no issue with them. They think they're good, and you don't actually see any really. I hardly see any police. That Banhammer went down like a treat. Then you missed that one, Rags. I know you live for it, man. Don't worry, Lomax. I'm done with it. Yeah, I think I was already on that. There'll be another one though, because the geezer's got no friends. He'll be like, oh, better log into my other channel now and say something even worse. Oh, it was. It's not, is it? Okay, that's interesting. Where's Moslab when you need him? They do love them. Oh, we are. The AK-47, officially known as the Avtomat Kalashnikova. Avtomat is where the A comes from. So I suppose Avtomat is probably similar to automatic, isn't it? Avtomat Kalashnikova. There you go. 7 decades of use, so the most used weapon. We've got nearly 100 people at the afternoon show. Hello, Mick. Good to see you. Well, my mate had one. Check it. I might be able to grab a photo of it. Yeah. Right, see if I can get this for you. This will blow your mind. And it was in formaldehyde. Hang on. And I was meant to get it. He knew he was going to die. I went to see him about 2 weeks before he was going to die. And I was like, what about that Kalashnikov? He said, well, if you can get in. I said, you know I can get in. He said, well, go and get it. Sure, you can have it. And I just didn't. Gutted. It's the one without the wooden bit on it as well. You know, the little sort of, it looks more like a Heckler and Koch. But it was in a box in formaldehyde. But I would have thought I could have grabbed a picture because it was in the Colony Club. But nice gold-plated Kalashnikov. I think my issue was walking through Soho with a AK-47, and you know, fully functional. You can bury them for decades and they still work. I thought it might be a little bit dangerous, a bit risky. It's like a 5-year mandatory in the UK for a weapon, whether it be gold plated or not. I wonder where that ended up. I think it belonged to someone a little bit dodge. Is anyone else getting buffering? Pagan's getting a bit of buffering as well, and Wolfie. Ethernet cable must be loose. Hang on, let me check. I don't like the sound of that. No, we're all good. I mean, sometimes someone's going to get a bit of buffering, but hello, 42. Good to see you. Thank you, Jimmy. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. You know what I'm going to say? I've been rabbiting for 27 minutes, and the grift has been absolutely. Why do I forget it every time? It's my fucking line. Appalling. But that's all right. It all balances out in the end. You're a generous bunch, and it's much appreciated. Cheers, Jimmy. Jimmy's avatar there. He sent it to me earlier today. I'll show you it. If you're subscribed to my Telegram, you'll have already seen it. But for those of you who haven't made the leap to my Telegram, link in the description if you're interested. I'll put some good stuff on there. A lot of interesting stuff about stocks. 3 more scrubs wrote to me today asking about investing. Very happy about that. Very impressed. You don't need a lot of money to get going. I bought some more stocks today. Have a look at this. It's brilliant. I can't make it any bigger, I'm afraid. Well, I can make it a little bit bigger. If you can't read it, it says across the top, and just like that, and there's a picture of a little girl with a telly with the glass smashed in holding a hammer. And underneath it says, so, and just like that, little Susie cured the worst virus of all time. And then there's I don't want to give you that address because I haven't seen it yet. And I don't want to give you a web address of something that turns out to be illegal or something. And then I've endorsed them and then I'm in all sorts of trouble. But nice one for sending me that, Jimmy. And nice one for the grift. It's muchos appreciati. So here's an interesting little. What's happening? Have I gone? Am I back? Am I talking to anyone? So I've come back. Have I? Am I out of sync with the chat? Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Rags sent me this. I've already cut out about 5 minutes of it. I have got another video to show you, something very interesting. Nice one, Pax Max. Good to know. I went for a while, was I? Oh my God. I said some very interesting things. It buffered for a couple of minutes. Did Jimmy hear me say thank you to for his donation? White Rose is legit. They have templates for counterculture stickers and such. Okay, there you go. It's White Rose. I'll trust you on that, Lockwood. This isn't an endorsement. I've never been to this place, but it's t.me/join the White Rose. That's where that sticker came from. Yeah, Jared had no problems. There you go. Thank you, Meganesia, and glorious it is. Right. Strange little video here. And so Malta and Pestle, motorsports enthusiasts. We've got a 1,000cc bike and a 125 dragsters, a pair of them, right? So they've got long tails stopping them from flipping. Well, interestingly, the 125 has got the long tail stopping it from flipping. So I wasn't that surprised, and anyone who knows even a smidge about bikes won't be. So this thing here, the green machine, is a 1,000cc bike. Looks like a road bike. And this little homemade thing, there's its long tail, it's got a 125cc, which is much like my little scooter. So watch them doing this little bit of drag racing. Hi, this is me. I'm just letting you know I'm still here. Hello, Anglo. Nice to see you. Didn't know you were on the phone. Well, Gaffney says power to weight ratio. Well, I have another... buffering again. It's gonna shut down. If you can hear me, it's all about to shut down. I'm gonna shut it down. Oh no, we might be all right. Hang on. I might shut it down myself. Save time. It's shutting down. I'll see you in a minute. Did you actually hear me saying it's about to go? Did you hear me say, I'm going to go, I'm going to go? Without a doubt, Dan. I mean, it'll be a bloody boring video if the bigger bike just won. Did you hear me go, I'm going to go, I'm going to go? It just said, it not responding. And I thought, oh, it's all closed down. I don't know what's happening today, people. I'm all right with it, though. What are you going to do? You know, no point getting all strung out. And I missed Marzipan also donated a couple of quid, according to Entropy. And he said it's Dad's birthday today. Wish Ian Sr. a happy 84th birthday. I missed that. So if you're listening, Ian Sr., 84 big ones. Many happy returns, is it? Many happy returns for the day. I hope you've got the boy Ma massaging you shoulders. Obviously, you don't. No, we won't go there. And making you a nice cooked breakfast, and maybe have yourself a little tipple of some finest single malt. What? You haven't got a single malt? Send the boy in out. He can pay for it and all. Yeah, get those 84s in the chat because I missed that one. So sorry about that, Ian. Many apologies. But we're there now. There's plenty of 84s. Lovely, lovely. And I'll tell you what, people, Ian absolutely looks after that man. It's lovely. Right, so we'll have a look at this little motorbike thing, and then I want anyone who actually knows to tell me, and I'll give you what I think it is once we've seen it. It's like about 4 seconds, But I was just interested because I wanted to check with people who actually know why. And here we go. I mean, you know, what's 125? That's like a seventh, 700. It's about an eighth of the size engine. Here we go. Smashed the bollocks off him. Now look at the shock on the people's faces. Yeah, you've just been hammered. Yeah. Unlucky. Now, here's my answer. I had a KX80 when I was a kid, and it was fucking rapid. It's an off-road scrambler. When you set off, when you kick it in, you hold the clutch in, but then you have to lean right over the handlebars. Really, you have to lean over the handlebars because the first gear cog on a KX80, and my old man used to be a grass track racer, so when I bought that bike, the big ends were fucked. And I adored my father. I'm sorry. I know I go on about it. But the bloke who sold it to me said it's fucked. He said the big ends are gone. It needs loads of work, 20 quid. I was like, Dad, do you reckon you can fix that? He went, yeah, easy. He went, get it. It's 20 quid. My old man hadn't been inside a motorbike for about 30 years. But when he used to do grass track, he built his own. He welded frames together, built his own engines. Yeah. So he opened up this little 2-stroke KX, and if you were once a grass track racer who made your own bikes, a little 2-stroke engine. I mean, it's nothing, is it? It's a head, a piston, and a fucking carburetor, essentially. And he went to the shop, told him what he wanted, come back, installed it, cleaned it all up, tuned it up like an absolute beagle. But that. No problem, and it's an absolute pleasure. You're a legendary scrub on the firm. The first gear cog is like that. Seriously, it's about an inch across. It's not the finger, it's the hole. It's about the size of a tuppenny piece, a tuppence. And if you think about it, that 2p size cog is driving a back wheel about that big. I mean, think of the ratio difference. Every time that 2p does a full circle, that back wheel does a full circle. And on that little 2-stroke, with that piston going like you've never known, as it's firing off petrol, that back wheel, when you shot off, if you opened it right up, the back wheel was so fast that the bike, it would bounce around because it's actually causing the back wheel to take off the ground a bit. And if you weren't over the handlebars and you let go of that clutch, you'd flip it, which was great for me because when the hard kids used to go, Gish, you go on your bike. And you don't want people riding your bike because it's your little baby and you look after it and you know how to look after it and you don't fuck it. Like these people who can't ride bikes who are just going to melt it in first. And then when it's screaming, they don't know how to ride them. So you never wanted them on it. And then just like, let's have a go. What would you do if it got nicked? So I'd always straight away go, no, sure. You know how to ride a bike though, yeah? And they go, yeah. And I'd think, yeah, all right, jump on. And then they'd be like, I would go, right, that's the clutch. And as soon as that point, I thought, here we go. And then they'd be sitting upright on it, arms out in front of them. And I'd say, yeah, I'd say it's got a little bit of kick on it, mate. Probably a little bit more than you're prepared for. And they'd be like, shut up. Every time. And it'd just flip out from under them and they'd fall down and snap their fucking pelvis in pieces. Hello, Jason Larson, the base Danish Greek. You're more than welcome here. Keep it easy, keep it nice. And so, so what I reckon, and I want to know from people in the chat who know a bit about these things, that's why that bike won. Yeah, exactly. Have I got it round the wrong way? Well, basically that 1251, because it was all about acceleration. The bigger engine is going to take longer to get its power going. Does that make sense? Mousecat says cork 7 plate clutch baskets. Is that the answer? You've been here a while, have you? All right. Okay. Maybe it was the name change, or have I just forgot? So is that it's just about acceleration, isn't it? It did actually say it. It was when it on the little strap. It said on the little strap. But when you've got a seat which is blatantly 3 young persons' bums long, you're going to get as many people on it as possible. You're not new. You'll never be new again, mate. I mean, yeah. No, never. I never give that a go. You're talking about that bike there, maybe, but I never give that a go. A couple of the kids down on the estates, when we used to meet up on the bikes, a couple of them had little nitrous oxide appendages. What a lot of people did was drill a hole and put a fucking butane, like a blowtorch canister, into it. Like you just see it. There'd be a butane canister sticking out of the side of the head. And while they were riding, they'd just get their foot and sort of turn it and give them like a little boost. Is that what it said, Ooper? It exactly said that, did it? Well, you know, if it needed saying, but how many balls got wrapped around that little gear shifter on the chopper? Oh, okay. Well, I can't imagine why, with your name like that. I think you probably won't survive much longer. Yeah, I'm just gonna call you Former. And as you got yeeted, they do smell like victory. I watched a load of scenes from Apocalypse Now today, actually, and this was right. And so we get back to the deer hunter, and you know what? I was thinking about. I'm going to show you a little video in a minute. I was thinking about, you know, there was about a year ago when I was doing a lot of streams with nationalists and a lot of people calling for war. And it's quite a young person's thing to call for war. And, you know, that's what really done me about the deer hunter, you know, that just the realities of war. You just can't imagine it. You just cannot imagine that what that is actually like, the dehumanization of it, and the dehumanization of self, the dehumanization of the enemy, and you become less and less human the better you get at it. And there's a very interesting documentary, a bloke called Michael Herr. Saying search. He wrote a book called Dispatches. Michael Herr. He wrote a cracking book called Dispatches. And Michael Herr was one of the first journalists to go out to Vietnam and write about it and actually go with troops. You know, these days it's all very, you get to hang around with a high-ranking officer, and it's all very censored where you're allowed to go, who you're allowed to go with, what you're allowed to see. But all that sort of photojournalists and that in Vietnam, it was relatively a relatively new thing. You know, like the Vietnam War was televised. I've got this ridiculous association with the Vietnam War and America and psychedelia, because all those tunes, they're what? Fortunate Son, Hey Kids, What's That Sound? Everybody Look What's Going Down. All those songs, you know, I just see napalm going off and all that. And that book Michael Herr wrote about, called Dispatches, most of Willard, you know, Sheen, Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen. It's Charlie Sheen, isn't it? No, it's Martin, isn't it? The eldest. He plays Willard anyway, the main man in Apocalypse Now. Most of his monologues, Saigon, shit. all this time, and I'm still only all his monologue, most of his monologues in Apocalypse Now come from Michael Herr's dispatches, which is really interesting. But I watched a load of that, and I watched The Deer Hunter, and I just thought, if there was a war in England now, because people had had enough, like what Kai Morris talks about, which, when you're being told that and when you're angry, you start thinking, let's do that. That would go on for decades. It would go on for decades. You got this, it's a very young man's idea that we'd all take up arms. That's it, Lumi, for what it's worth. That's that one. Hey kids, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's a handful of songs that are just so connected to Vietnam. It's ridiculous. And considering it was on a lot of it on the telly in the 70s when I was stuck in front of it. There you go, Skin Scar. Exactly what I just said. Yeah. And, I sat in front of the telly for my first sort of formative years. That's what you did. Cup of orange squash and some ginger nuts to dip in it. One in the chat if you dipped ginger nut biscuits into cheap supermarket orange squash. Kiora, no, that was for the rich kids. And so there's this bizarre relationship with psychedelia, and a scrub sent me a little kind of like an ode to, or what would you call it, a tribute to Once Upon a Time in the West, which is one of my favorite movies. I watched about 4 seconds of it. Am I allowed to say this? Yeah, I am. I watched about 4 seconds of it and 100% did not download the whole movie to watch tonight. One of my favorite films, Once Upon a Time in the West. But I also then thought, maybe I'll do a matinee tonight because I ain't working tonight. I'm not writing my novel. I'm not getting that Substack finished. No, I've done enough work. I'm having more rest in my life because I think resting more is going to make the quality of my work better. I've been smashing it and I don't need to. And it comes from guilt. I will get back to the war stuff, but because I've got a video for you. But it comes from guilt because I screwed my business up twice in the past. Twice I've had to sack everyone and sit there with all my stock, crying my eyes out, thinking, why did you take your eye off the ball? And so I've got this kind of guilt complex where I feel like I should work hours. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's inefficient. 10 hours of, watching a bit of film here, watching a bit of video here, going to pick my nose, going to lay down for a bit. Just because you've put in 10 hours, you've actually only done 2.5 hours efficient work. But in my sort of unconscious, it's like if you were to fuck it up again, you would think, well, why didn't you work harder? But that's a myth. It's a lie. And I proved that to myself today. However, no one else dipped a ginger nut in an orange squash. Just me and Emma. Me, Emma, and Grego. Me, Emma, Grego, Jess. Me, Emma, Grego, Jess. Ugly Truth, Rollo. That's enough. Weird, isn't it? And you'd suck the orange squash out of the ginger nut. Whoa! I mean, that's going a bit much, isn't it? Anyway, going back to the no. Okay. Going back to the war situation, I saw many people calling for war. And that goes on for decades. If that was to happen in England, it would go on for decades. If it might never end. It might never end. You've got to be really careful about nations that get involved in wars, especially modern wars. And especially when the wars they were calling for were like civilians as well. And when you've got that mixture of civilians and actual military, and I think it's also really naive. It's sort of like teenage sort of dreams of warriordom. This is the stuff of Danny G, whatever his name is, or Scotty G, one of that lot. This sort of idea that one day you'll take up arms and and it's all over, victory. But it's not like that. It's people get raped, and people get tortured, and people get kidnapped, and children get burnt to death by petrol and sugar mixtures that are dropped from the skies. And exactly that, Andrew. And it's a vile, horrible pain, a level of pain. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Mouse Cat. I mean, I have to be very careful what I say around this stuff. But I've got friends. Oh, hang on. 42 said those people calling for war have not woke up to find out someone they knew was found in a skip beat to death. Yeah, I mean, it's a young man's fantasy, and it exists in. It's a fucking horror. You know, it's not mankind. It's not mankind working at its best. It's not. It's all gone wrong. You know, when other solutions haven't been found, it's gone very wrong. You know, yeah, there you go. A great point. Those calling for war are shielded from the consequences of it. You know, if you read dispatches, and this is the interesting point, that in an interview with that Michael Kerr, who went to Vietnam and saw the true horror of what was going on out there, the interviewer says to him, "Why didn't you leave?" He wasn't conscripted. He wasn't military. He was an independent journalist. And they said, "Why didn't you leave if you saw the horror of it?" And he said, let me get this right. He says, "Because I got into it." He says, "I got into the trip." Now, I know it's a very 60s, 70s thing to say, trip, but you know, that once you've gone that far, do you ever come back? Do you ever come back from that? I got into it. You know, even hello Moslav, good to see you, mate. Even from our comfortable sort of viewing points at home, to see footage of what goes on in wars is, you know, awful, absolutely shocking. You know, children being burnt to death, and all the stuff that goes on after the war. I don't know if you ever saw Hugh's video. What did he call himself? I can't remember what he called himself, Hugh. It's been so long since he made a video. Come on, man. What was Hugh's channel called? Fuck me, man. That's probably slipped my mind. I hope you ain't watching this. They'll be going, "You cheeky bastard." On the Offensive, it was called. Right, there you go. I got it before anyone. There you go. I got it before it came up. Spartans. I couldn't believe he actually mentioned the Spartans. He made a video once about what the Soviets done to the German population at the end of the Second World War. How they just, when they were clawing Germany up into two pieces. It's a horror show. It's a horror show worse than what went on during the war, I'd say. I mean, I never knew any of that stuff. And I went to other sources afterwards. But the Soviet army just raped their way across Eastern Germany. Raped, tortured, murdered, hung people from lampposts and things. Hugh is doing very, very well. He's very busy. He's having a great time, and I don't want to say anything else really, because that's his business. But that I know that lot for a fact, because I spoke to him the other day on a video chat. It's did you see the video, Fionn? It's shocking, and that isn't particular to what happened at the Second World War. You know, there's plenty of people talking about Vietnam. My Vietnamese girlfriend, who I was with for 6 years, her parents lived through the Vietnam War, and her dad told me stuff that just makes your fucking toes curl. You know, some of the stuff he told me just. And I've been to the Killing Fields Museum in Phnom Penh, and when you can see what humans can do and will do, nah, Now, I have to be very careful here. Yep, we've talked about that a lot on this channel. We've it was a one-off, I think, Threads. I don't remember it being a series. Maybe it was, but I think it was just a one-off. It was what happened to people in Sheffield if a bomb went off. Yeah, it terrified a generation. No, he's a fantastic bloke, Hugh. A really lovely man. Yeah, without a doubt. And the fact is, I know he's a bit divisive, but Jordan Peterson makes a very good point. You know, when you look back at history and see what people have done in certain times, and you think, "Fucking hell, that's rough." Well, they're people like you and me. You know, there weren't special nasty groups of people. There's people like they were people like you and me. There's 120 people here now. Lovely to see your height. Sorry about the subject, but bit of balance from this morning's video. You know, keep it balanced. That's 120 people here. How many of you lot would have been part of that Soviet army raping their way across Eastern Germany? Half of us. First place you encountered me was on Hugh's channel. Yeah, it was very kind of him. He had me on to talk about my time with the communists. I put my fascist hat on, didn't I? Yeah, Chris, I went there. You went to the Tolseng Torture Museum, not like the make out one in. Well, right, yeah. I haven't been to the one in Warsaw, but the one here. If you don't come out changed forever, you either weren't paying attention or you're lying. It's fucking agony going through that place. It's absolute agony. Rags, can you sort that? Rags or Moslab, can you sort that bloke out, because he's too lonely for this space. This is a community of adults who, talk sensibly and don't suffer fools. Now, I've got friends living in Shanghai and I've got friends living in Beijing. And they've both said that, Pratt, that we keep banning. Listen to me. You're welcome here. You've clearly got very little else to do because you just keep turning up here and, wanking yourself off with your pointless comments. Now, you don't have to you don't have to stay lonely. You can come back in with another account. I'm sure you've got plenty. I'm sure you've got the time to make plenty of accounts. And, you don't need to make fart noises to get attention when the adults are talking. You can just join in. But just be a little bit respectful, because we like what we've got here. All right? It's that simple. I understand that you're probably a bit damaged and you haven't been welcomed into other social groups, but most of us here have got a bit of that in them. But, we became adult and dealt with it. Someone just said something perfect. That's kind of summed up what I was saying. Now, I've got friends living out there in Beijing and China, and they're saying that I've got to be really careful here, obviously, because of where I live and things like that. It's a terrible, terrible story. I'll see if I can. I don't know if Hugh's channel's still up. Does anyone know if On the Offensive channels is still up? I think he probably deleted it. They're saying over there that there's real panic at the head of the CCP. There's real panic. Oh no, but Moody Edge, and the English and the Soviets, everyone. I don't think it's fair just to say, well, and the Japanese. This is what happens in war. It's what people do. You've got this idea that the English are all out there going, okay, sir, yeah, certainly, chocks away. No. and I don't want to get into saying who was better or who was worse, because we're all humans can do hideous things to other humans. Anyway, friends over there, I've said enough so you know where I'm talking about. There's problems at the top at the moment. There's also problems with the economy, and there is talk of quite significant problems going on between them and Taiwan. And I've been known about this. Exactly, Moslab, exactly. And, you know, even Apocalypse Now with its darkness, there's still a fair amount of glamorization. You know, Bill Kilgore is still, you know, how many quotes for him? It's like people laugh at that character. And what he actually done is bombed and killed a whole Vietnamese village so that he could go surfing. And yet people like that character. He's great, isn't he, Kilgore, with the old Flight of the Valkyries. Yeah. The bloke's a murderer, and he likes murdering. And he says, you know, and he says it with, he's scared. He says it with, like, he's going to miss it. One day he says, this war's going to end, and all his fun's going to go. So, you know, there's such a difference between even something like that. Even the deer hunter has got an element of sort of, yeah, go our boys, you know, those nasty Vietnamese making them play Russian roulette. Anyway, there's a lot of people getting quite worried up there north of where I live. And then today I follow Jameson's travels. I don't know if you know him. He's ex-Marine, and he deals with mainly military stuff. And I'll only show you a bit of this, and then I'll link you to it. But after what I heard, and then some stuff that I've found out through logistics, shipping logistics, because we do a bit of business. Anglo-Saxon, it's a classic example. Read about or listen to Kurt Vonnegut talking about Dresden. It's just, you know, we carpet bombed the whole place. There were no military targets in Dresden. It was just a show of power. I think we dropped more bombs on Dresden than the atomic weapons that were dropped on Hiroshima. There's something absurd about it. And the firebombing of Japan before the nuclear bombs were dropped, we firebombed civilian Japan. And nice, just you know. Anyway, and then I came across this. They are. I don't know the exact statistics, so I don't want to chuck them out like I do. But yeah, it was hell. Oh, no way. How interesting. So there was a more megatons like for like. I mean, it's a weird thing to kind of compare because, you know, different weapons have different effects and all that. But, you know, people talk about all those evil this, those evil that. But England was far from innocent in all of that. And then I came across this today, so have a little look at this. It's the channel's Jameson's Travels. He's a good lad. If you're into this sort of stuff. He also does some funny stuff. It's not all this serious, but because I was finding out about logistic stuff involving Taiwan recently, and then I heard my people in China talking about word on the street and the economic problems that China are having, which all nations have when they've just had what is essentially in China, it's almost like an industrial revolution they've had. You know, certainly a manufacturing revolution. That brings with it massive cultural changes that something like the CCP is just not really ready for. And this isn't fear-mongering, because wars will never be like they used to be. I doubt you'll ever see you know, hundreds of thousands of troops landing and trying to gather ground. You know, I think it'll be sanctions and and things like that. But sanctions starve people. That's essentially what they do. Paxmax, an actual donation. I don't know what to say. Not because it's you, because it's just come through. He says, today I dropped out of the Telegram group Scrubs Lifeboat and Bards, some, I'd guess. Hard nationalist just bombs the chat of anti-Semitism. Yeah, I'm not interested in anti-Semitism at all. I'm not. I got nothing to say about that. Nice one on the donation. I didn't know that was going on in the Scrubs Lifeboat. But what will happen, Paxmax, is you get fanatics, and if they get let into groups, they just use them to, you know, advertise their obsessions. You know. Nice one on the donation, Paxmax. Quite frankly, let me get this right. Why have I got a blind spot on it? I'm sure it was atrocious. Anyway, you know the joke. There's no point me going there again. But it's just banter. But it isn't. I've seen it, Jess. It's not. It's not. It doesn't. It doesn't make me laugh. It makes me think it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think all that's over. However, there is still global implications for these things. Anyway, after that huge 1 hour and 6 minute build up, have a look at this. Okay, all right, no problem. Well, I don't know. So there you go. I don't know. I don't know. Have a look at this.
Taiwan has reported that in recent days, Chinese military aircraft...
Hang on a minute. I can't hear that coming through my headphones. That's better. Right. So have a listen to this. There you go. And this is the kind of important thing when you're talking about things like manufacture, when you're talking about things like sanctions, and when you've put your manufacturing into these other nations, like where are the majority of European medicines made? Where are the majority of American medicines made? Where are the majority of American technological items like phones and laptops and all that made? And so you think these tiny little islands, but you know, it might just be a tiny little island off the coast of China. But again, that this could cause China incredible problems. And you know, I think these are the more pressing things to think about these days. Let's have a listen to a bit more. You can't hear it. You can't hear it. You can't hear it. You've heard nothing that I've said, that he said. All right, apologies. People saying, why can't he see this? There's a massive delay. I'm not muted, right? There's a massive delay. I've only just seen, excuse me, come on, cut me some slack. Right, we'll take it back. No dramas. Fucking hell, you lot get a bit tight tonight. Help us out a bit. Calm down. Right, here we go. Let me know. Weirdly, I usually say, let me know you've got audio, and I didn't. And it was the only time you haven't. Let me know now.
That in recent days, Chinese military aircraft, including fighter jets, bombers, and anti-submarine aircraft.
Could you hear that? Could you hear that? Right, okay, thank you, Rusky. See, that's how long it takes. Right, from the top, check it.
Taiwan has reported that in recent days, Chinese military aircraft, including fighter jets, bombers, and anti-submarine aircraft, have flown over nearby waters.
A lot going on in the country, to include the military. You got Lieutenant Colonel Schiller. Meantime, in South China Sea, we got a lot of things going on. Let's take a gander.
There are plenty of things to worry about in the U.S. relationship with China, but one worry in particular has been climbing up the list recently, and that's the explosive question of Taiwan. Taiwan, of course, is the island state that considers itself.
Why does Taiwan matter to any of us in America, you may ask? Well, they make 63% of all semiconductors. We can get into the history of Taiwan. Are they part of China? Have they always been? The bottom line is, right now, they're somewhat operating independently of China. And we get everything we operate, including cell phone, your camera, everything, majority of it's coming from Taiwan.
The one true China, but that the communist government in Beijing considers to be nothing but a breakaway province.
And you look at the size of that and you think, well, come on, this is no problem. But Taiwan has got huge global economic and manufacturing power. And China, as he's about to say, I hope, I hope you can hear it, China thinks that Taiwan's part of China, and Taiwan doesn't. And that's where we are. And when they're moving submarines around it and flying aeroplanes around it, and with the I've got to be so careful with the word on the ground, as I've heard from people I know who live there, saying that people are getting a little bit concerned, and there's ruptures happening up at the top of the CCP. This is really key here. And of course you're going to be hard pressed to hear about this on the news, because they're too worried telling you about transgender rights, and they're too worried about telling you about 20 people being shown around the Capitol building on January the 6th. Meanwhile, in the real world,
that ought to be reunited with the mainland.
So I hear the saber rattling from the media. First thing I do is go to Taiwanese news. Let's see what's going on there. U.S. Marines officially training in Taiwan the first time since 1979.
Yeah, okay. So there's US Marines turning up in Taiwan for the first time in 40 years. Well, the problem is, Geopolitical, this is another problem with globalism. It is. Like he said, they produce 60% of superconductors. You can look deeper and they're probably making X percent of something else, X percent of something else. And if you can't get hold of them, if you start saying, we're going to do this, we're going to sanction this, we're going to sanction this, and then they go, all right, you ain't having this. And then your economy goes, this isn't doom spreading. This is the way of the world. You know, it's always been a battle for resources, and this stuff goes on all the time. Don't think that I've just gone, oh, look, be scared that it's all going to kick off. No, I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that this is happening. And it does affect us because it's a global economy. It's a globalist system. And again, this is why, local living, community living, you don't get involved in other people's scraps. But we haven't got that. Europe pretty much handed its manufacturing base over to China and Taiwan. I mean, I don't know what it was like where you come from, but in England in the 80s, everything had a sticker on it. What did English people in the chat, what did any electrical goods you bought have? What did it say on that sticker? I have every faith people will know what it said. There'll be a short delay. Well, nearly. That was one of the two. There you go. This pissy little lump of rock in the middle of the sea has got incredible global power, and that's what they do. That's why they do it deliberately. medicines, tech, things like that. And the first time in 40 years, there's Americans training in Taiwan. Why? Why are they training in Taiwan? How do you think that's going to make the Chinese feel? Why are they training in Taiwan? For obvious reasons. Now, here's why I'm bringing it up. Why am I saying, on the one hand, this isn't fear mongering. This stuff goes on all the time. We're in a kind of perpetual war. It's like a Cold War situation, and that's what global capitalism creates. Okay, right? So these things happen all the time. Here's the one difference. Look at the American administration. That is what makes this a different situation. If this was 3 years ago, I'm not concerned. There was a president that started no wars, that actually done his best to end them. But we've got a bunch of clowns in control of one of the most powerful militaries in the world, and they've proven themselves to be incompetent. They've proven themselves to be strategically unsophisticated. I mean, look at the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Look at the bombing of children. That was their little fireworks show. Oh, watch out, we'll kill your kids. So that's what makes this slightly different for me, because you've got lunatics running the show. Anyway, check out a bit more.
So they sent a group of Marine raiders over there November 12th of 2020. The Pentagon spokesman comes out to say the reports about the Marines in Taiwan are inaccurate, but did not explain what exactly was going on. This was in November, right? Before we started seeing the Chinese flying over Taiwan and towards Japan. Fast forward to February 2021, the Taiwanese government comes out and says the U.S. Marines are training their troops on amphibious battles. So despite what the Taiwanese government has said, the Pentagon's still disavowing any knowledge of troops being there, and said they still agreed to the One China policy, which means Taiwan is really part of China formally.
I mean, how interesting is that? So you've got Taiwan, the Taiwan press is saying, no, they're here, they're doing it. And then you've got the American administration saying, no, we believe in the One China. Taiwan is part of China. It's all good. It's all good. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. We're there. This is that. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. And the problem is, people ain't. I've just found it really interesting. We'll listen to a bit more.
Let's fast forward to today. This just came out. U.S. troops have been deployed in Taiwan for at least a year. So now it comes out the U.S. Special Operations Unit, this is the Marine Raiders, have been secretly operating in Taiwan to train their forces, U.S. officials said. Now more disavowing, now it's being said. Here's where the alarm bells go off.
Well, Taiwan, no, that's not the alarm bells. There's said. More alarm bells alarm here, bells actually, Mr. Jameson.
Now more disavowing, now it's...
So look at that. Look at this paragraph here. If you can't read it, I'll tell you. Washington. A U.S. Special Operations Unit and a contingent of Marines have been secretly operating in Taiwan to train military forces there, U.S. officials said, after they've been denying it for a considerable amount of time. I added that. Part of efforts to shore up the island's defences as concern regarding potential Chinese aggression mounts. And then listen to what he's going to say now.
What's being said. Here's where the alarm bells go off. Taiwan and the U.S. have expressed concern over the 150 flights near Taiwan in the past week by Chinese military aircraft.
150 flights going up, flying near the old no-fly zones. 150 in the past week. I mean, look, you don't need to be an expert on the military to know that flying 150, what were they going to be? Fighter jets, bombers? One of the... Well, there's three choices. There's four options, actually. fighters, bombers, reconnaissance, spying, or just holiday makers. Just a little Cessna. If you look to your left, you'll see Taiwan. Oh, lovely. Come on. These are military airplanes. 150 in a week. 7's into 150. 150 divided by 7. 21 a day, so nearly 1 an hour. 1 an hour. That's not just 12-hour day, that's a 24-hour day. Almost 1 an hour. Okay, a little bit more.
Okay, maybe they're just doing exercise. The Chinese have included J-16 fighter jets, F-6 strategic bombers, and submarines. You know, the whole accompaniment.
Oh, so it wasn't people in their Cessnas having little holidays.
For warfare. The Chinese aircraft, military aircraft, have not entered to the Taiwanese airspace, but they're flexing, right? We've seen this with the Russians flexing. The Chinese are flexing. Taiwan is a jewel crown of China's empire with that semiconductor business and all the things we got. Now, Beijing has come out and said we'll take control of the island if forced by necessary.
Hang on a minute. Can we just have that again? Because that's incredible. In Orwell's 1984, our man Winston's job is to get old copies of the newspapers, read stories from the past, and edit them to give a different impression of what happened. That's part of his job. This is wrong think. This is his historical wrong think. So we rewrite it, right? And we now live in an age. Someone made a video about this. Who was it? It might have been Black Pigeon Speaks, actually. I'm going to ask him if he'll come on. He probably will. But we now live in an age where this stuff happens in the present, where you've got like you're editing history in the present. That was amazing. I found that amazing. Of course, Rags. It's all happening in Minecraft, of course. But let's just check that little bit out again. It's kind of frightening, isn't it? It's creepy stuff, that.
And all the things we got. Now, Beijing has come out and said they'll take control of the island if forced by necessary. Top military officials testified earlier this year that Beijing is likely to try to take back Taiwan.
That's all you need to know. So there you go. Top Chinese officials said we'll take Taiwan by force if necessary. I would have thought this would have been all over the news. I would have thought this was important, but America's being run by children. And for me, that's what makes this more dangerous than the endless kind of globalist Cold War that we all know about. You know, I'd trust Putin over these people at this stage. Seriously, I would seriously trust Putin over these people, over the Democrats, and that isn't something I say lightly. I mean, at least he understands strategy. At least he understands. At least he's a patriot. You know, there's that. When you've got people who have already proved in what is it now 9 months that they don't give a shit about that nation. That in fact Bo Jiden is on record, on video. This isn't just a hearsay, saying an endless stream of immigrants into America. And he says, and that's a good thing. And he says, people like me, people of Caucasian, European descent, will become a minority. And when that happens, so does their culture. And you've got companies Companies, I showed you the other day, companies, we've got 99%. I've got to be very careful here, people, so you're going to have to fill in the blanks. But we've got companies that have now got 99% of their people, how do we say, medically correct. There's a new political correctness. There's a medical correctness. But they didn't do that by letting them choose. They fucking fired them. So I think that kind of shines a very different light on this situation here. And then just under that, it says Taiwan's defense minister, Chiao Ku-cheng, warned Wednesday that China would be able to launch a full-scale attack on Taiwan with minimal losses by 2025, 4 years. And what if they do that? What if they do that? Yes, little bullet, absolutely. Yep, Kevin, agreed. What are America can do? What are America going to do? Don't forget, it weren't long ago that the highest-ranking military official in the U.S. military telephoned China and told them that, don't worry, if we're going to attack you, I'll give you a warning. So they're going to just let this happen, are they? Because if they just let this happen, what about Vietnam? What are they going to do if China decide to just run into Vietnam, run into Cambodia, run into Myanmar, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia? Keeps growing. And then you've got Putin over there blatantly trying to resurrect the Soviet Union. You got students coming out as communists. It's a situation worth keeping your eye on. Well, and I tend to agree with you. Why do you think this is happening with Taiwan? You know, they can suddenly get quite the boost from, and you know, look, I have to be careful, but they consider Taiwan part of their country. Yeah, there's another one. You will twat them, Chris. Just keep watching. I need to get a shield made. Anyone got a welder and some metal? Well, this is it. There's so much money to be made out of war. None of us here are ignorant enough to think that the military-industrial complex doesn't like a good war. Look at Blair. Blair had one bloke. One bloke said to him, "They've got chemical weapons of mass destruction. Fuck it. Let's go." It's just one bloke lied. And the bloke even said he lied. I might have to get my chop suey glasses sooner than I thought. Are you a welder, RMF? Can you knock mine up with some coded welding, please? I tell you what, if I got a shield sent here, it would probably come to my house with a few troops. I'll be like, no, I did not order a shield. And then they'll show this little clip and I'll go, that was in Minecraft. Come on. Moslab says, yes, I do, but you'll have to come away with third-degree burns before anything that resembles a shield. Hang on a minute. So what? You're gonna weld it around my arm? Yeah, there you go. They love it. They love it. They absolutely love it. The danger Is that a typo? Did you mean the danger shield? But there you go, Billy. This is interesting. Japan is back in Taiwan, therefore the US will be dragged in. Well, you can't avoid it these days. This is the problem with globalism. One of the many problems. And don't get me wrong. Look, globalism isn't all bad. It has done remarkable things as well. But one of the main problems with it is they tend to just tuck the downsides under the carpet. And they're like, well, look at this. Look at that. The amount of people we've brought out of poverty is on an exponential rise. Yeah, I'll give you that. However, you've also got this. You've also got this stuff going on, I don't want a shield with a big G on it. I don't want it. Oh, you're questioning my world. I'll have you know, my old man taught me the world years ago. And I'll have you know, I'm fucking awful at it. You're right. I will. Yes. I don't think third world. The third world. I don't think third degree burns. I think that's an understatement. There'll be limbs lost. Chris, war is not generally profitable for the people. Oh no, without a doubt. Of course not. It's profitable for governments and the people that make the weapons, and the shareholders who miraculously tend to be governments. You can't imagine it, can you? You can't even consider it. This is the worst grift I've ever had. Fucking shocking. But nice one to Jimmy, Ian, and Pax Max for giving me. I mean, talking war. It's. I can imagine. No, without a doubt, Gaffney. I had a mate who used to be a coded welder, and he used to knock out bongs in his lunchtime. They were fucking nice, though. Like, he made them out of like nice, like tubes, and all had little things on them. But coded welding, I didn't know what it was until he told me, and it was like, you have special codes, and it's different weights, and he actually made nuclear submarines. He didn't make them. He didn't sort of sit in his garden, a bit of staple gun here and there. But the bits of metal he welded together were parts of nuclear submarines. And you've got to get that welding to be able to withstand certain this and certain that, but also not change certain weights, not allow variations in stresses, and it all gets rather complicated. My old man just used to have a rod and a thing that you held up and couldn't see anything through. And is that a MIG or an arc welder? That's the missus. Hello, darling. Are you sleeping?
No.
Well, I'm making a video, but I'm going to wrap it up shortly. Do you want me to give you a call, or I'll send you a message? If you're awake, I'll send... Oh, okay then. Bye. I think she's half asleep. Oh, for fuck's sake. You call me again? Are you asleep?
Bye-bye.
Good night, my love. I'll talk to you tomorrow. What, you want me to talk to you later?
Yeah.
When I've finished, I'll send you a heart. If you're awake, call me. All right, love. Bye. I said, are you asleep? She went, no. So yeah, a little bit of a dark ending there, people. But I just thought it was important, and I think it should. She knows when I stream every day, and she just does it. But in fairness, it's 12:30, and she wants to talk to me before she goes to sleep, which is only fair enough. It's nice. It's nice. There you go. Well, look, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the link to that video so you can watch the rest of it if you want. It's a really good channel. I'll put it in the chat. It's called Jameson's Travels, and it's really worth a watch. I'll actually show you. Should I show you that now? No, it's a little bit of sadness. Jambo, I'll help you along with a 5. Oh, you're all right, Jambo. Thank you, mate. That's very kind of you. Should I show you this now? Yeah, I will show this now. It might lighten things up a touch before I go. I'm not gonna do 2 hours today just because I want to watch a movie. Thank you, Keys to the Kingdom. Very kind of you. Very kind of the pair of you. Much appreciated. How do I find this video he made earlier? Videos. There's this staff sergeant, and she's don't tell me it got deleted. This staff sergeant's been making videos on TikTok, and she's in uniform. And if you're in uniform, you're representing the Marine. She's a Marine. And I found it. So the arrogance of this woman. Please stop. YouTube, can you just work? Thank you, Richard. That's very kind of you, mate. Cheers, Richard. And thank you for your content this morning. Scotty G was... thanks for your research into the weird world of Aardmen. If you missed this morning's stream, Richard has found out, as observed and noted, there's old Irish gangsters, old Irish drug dealers funding bare knuckle boxing, funding boxers, funding these YouTube channels, trying to get people arguing. It's all gone a bit weird. Nice one, Bullet. Talking of welding, we were talking of welding. This is a very strange channel. Talking of welding, my 18% female audience is going to be drifting off. I can see it. It's been too many boobs and welding lately. Talking of welding, in World War II, my late father served on the first completely rivetless ship, HMS Seagull, a Halcyon-class minesweeper. Was the rivetlessness, I never knew I'd say that, Lil Bullet, was the rivetlessness part of because it was a minesweeper and they considered that it was a stronger kind of bond? Or was it just an experimental thing? Or, of course, don't you know? Nice one on the donation and an interesting question. Jess doesn't mind a bit of boobs and welding. Sweet. Scrubbettes. Brilliant. Mousecat says women welders like it hot. Yeah, I'm guessing it would actually. I wonder, I might have a look into that. Well, say and search, I'll do it now because I'm actually quite interested in that. What was it called? HMS Seagull. HMS Seagull. Rivetless. Halcyon-class minesweeper. And it says it was, your old man served on it. I mean, check this out, people. He's absolutely on it. Check this out. Nice one. Looks like I won't be calling the missus after all. I can get properly caught up in this kind of stuff. HMS Seagull. Lil Bullet's old man served on that ship. Wow. I'll read a bit. Completed on the 30th of May 1938, Seagull J85 was the first rivetless ship in the Royal Navy, all the joints being welded. Seagull and Leda were sent for rough weather trials in Icelandic waters on the 15th of September 1938 and arrived at Scapa on the 27th of September, having experienced sufficient rough weather to give a thorough test of the structure of Seagull. She started the war at Scapa and remained in Scottish waters until 1941, where she joined the second escort group, Londonderry. In October 1941, she joined PQ-2, the first of 21 Russian convoys that she was to help escort. She returned briefly at the beginning of 42 for Artisasa. I don't know what that is. Then sailed again in April for Russia, where she remained until September. On the 2nd of May 1942, she sank the Polish submarine Jacrab in error. Oh, my Lord. The submarine. Hang on a minute. Check this out. You got to love it. Listen to this. On the 2nd of May 1942, she sank the Polish submarine Jacrab in error. Brackets, the submarine was in the wrong location. That's absolutely incredible. It was the submarine's fault. Once more, she sailed to North Russia to return in February for boiler repairs. Nothing there about the... it says about the mine sweeping, but it doesn't say why. Okay, maybe there's some more about that. But I like that kind of stuff. Nice. They obviously, maybe they were experiencing ruptures in the hull of these boats when they were riveted, or maybe rust or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to be able to actually. I don't know anything about it to be able to contribute, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'll link that. Not a problem, RMF. There's not a lot more of it, but there's side links. So I imagine there is more of it. I'll put the link in the chat now. Anglo-Saxon, I sort of lost interest in football, to be honest with you. So I'm assuming they've just been bought by a Russian oligarch or a Saudi oligarch or something. I mean, in my experience, you know, money coming into football, is the Premier League better than the old First Division? Sometimes. Is football a working class sport? My season ticket costs £2,000 a fucking season. So, you know, they're not buying it for the fun of it, are they? They're buying it to make money out of it. And who suffers in those situations? Usually the fans. But I don't know anything about it, Anglo. So my thoughts on it are, it's another, you know, wouldn't it be nice if teams were of that area? You know, actually you went and supported a team and they were your people. That would be very exciting. I think that's probably why college football is quite big in America, because they still feel they've got some kind of connection towards the to the group. But apart from that, Mr. Saxon, I don't know. Oh, we've got tradesmen's wars kicking off. You don't have to be a good welder if you're a good grinder. Did I put the link in? I'll put it again. I'll put it in again just in case I didn't. There you go. Right, let's have a look at this. This is quite gross. So this video is called Cocky Army. This is a little light-hearted, although it's a bit cringe. It's a bit, you know, cringe is quite light-hearted. We did talk about wars and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I have noticed that in the chat today. Calm it, people. Talk things through. Discuss things. Don't call each other names. That isn't helping anyone. Come on. This is called Cocky Army Soldier Loses All Military Bearing on TikTok. And she really does. And again, she's got her uniform on. Now, take your uniform off. Wait till you're off work. Make your TikTok videos. Talk about the military. I couldn't give a shit. But to be in an helicopter or to be on your base with your uniform on and behave like she does, it's proper cringe. She's so arrogant, so cocky. And I think this is Richard says Celtic won the 1967 European Cup with a team entirely of Glaswegians. Imagine the party in Glasgow. Right. Listen to how awful this woman is. It's really, really bad. I don't think she gets promoted anymore. I think she's got to staff sergeant and she's going to be cleaning toilets for the rest of her career. If I didn't mean it like that, and you know it. If she keeps her job, I mean, okay. Adverts trying to get people to join the military with my two mums doesn't really cast the American military in the best light. However, this is quite something. Let's have a look. It's from the same geezer's channel. It's a great channel if you're into this kind of stuff. But here we go. Try and hold your cringing.
What's up, TikTok? So you start out your Saturday morning with coffee. I get to start my Saturday morning off with...
Broke my vagina. And it peed. Oh. Yeah.
What's up, TikTok?
Well, a young Army staff sergeant decides to get all...
Right, can you hear that? Have you got sound, please? Yes, Strontium Dog. I would guess that she does come from the Isle of Lesbos. You can hear it, right? Yeah? No problem. That's all right. Just go and watch something else. This channel is prattle. That's what it is. Okay, we'll continue.
Constitution.
Rags, do your job.
Let people
Hit it,
know
man.
about martial law. Kind of a bad look. Let's take a gander. Let's go.
So this happened. This is a message for our United States military. The Air Force, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, Coast Guard, SpaceX. SpaceX? You mean the program that was made by the guy who makes Teslas? Oh, man. Space Force, my guy. Moving right along. Everybody that...
Social media is going to be the downfall of lots of employees, to include the military.
Yes, Jess.
Why she would take the bait on this?
Yes, she said her vagina broke and weed. Yeah.
Yes, I have no idea. But just her demeanor, it's...
Hello, Carl. Carl is aristocracy, people. He has got his lineage from, I think if I remember right, Edward Plantagenet first. It's incredible. Yeah, we like prattle. I mean, it's a fair point. He made a fair point, but you know, the trick is to leave before the banhammer comes down. Here we go.
It's a bad look. I don't care if it's the military or any employer. I'm an employer.
There you go. They've watched the ad. They've watched the recruiting adverts. They've watched the likes of this, and they've just gone, now, do it now. They've got an army full of twits. Cheers, Willow.
To go for lots of people. If they do dumb shit that looks bad on my company, I'm not happy. Same thing here. We'll keep going.
Considers himself a person that would defend this country. Where are you? I'm at work defending this country. We thought the military took an oath to protect this country. They took an oath to protect our Constitution. That includes enemies, foreign and domestic. We did take that oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You know, domestic. Like a woman who decided to drive her vehicle through a National Guard vaccination tent. But keep that same energy.
Y'all, I'm in the airport of Germany, and there is a killer hornet right here. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Bro, we gonna die. We gonna die.
Where are you, military?
I threw in a little bit of other TikToks. Now, if she wants to do TikTok on her own, have her opinions, have fun, I'm all for it. But once you stick a uniform on, I don't care if it's U.S. military or Joe's trucks.
And this is exactly my point. You know, you say what you want if you want to say what you want. But if she's got that uniform on, she's at work. And she's at work representing the military. And this is fucking awful. It's fucking awful. Back to the old father on the ship. He was also on the first convoy from Scapa Flow to Murmansk in Russia. There was 3 inches of ice inside the ship. From then on, they insulated the ships. Nice one, Bullet. There was a few links down the side of that page. I'll put it in again. I've still got it in the... I've just put it in the chat. So if you want to follow up on that boat, the link is that. It's the Halcyon class Seagull link. Nice one, Bullet. I will be reading more about that. Amazing that you know all that about your old man. 3 inches of ice inside it. They insulated them a bit late for your old man, though, by the sounds of it. Yeah. I bet you what, Moody Edge, you can almost guarantee these are pushed right to the top. Anything that makes America, the American government, the American military look pathetic, weak, and embarrassing. I bet they're getting millions of views, hundreds of millions of views. Yeah, without a doubt.
Stop diner. If it reflects bad on your employer, people get pissed. Now her employer is the U.S. government, us as taxpayers, and then she's being so condescending and snarky that it just doesn't come off well. It's just a bad look. Let's leave it at that so I don't get kicked off of YouTube.
Because if you're leaving it up to the American people, you need to let us know, because everybody's on the edge of their seat. You've got millions and millions of gun owners that are ready to walk out and just start a complete bloodbath. And we're beginning to wonder where our military...
I mean, I'm no expert, but that's not a threat. Because not you talking about a bunch of gun owners going out and starting a bloodbath. Like, have you never heard... There's reasons why the military doesn't deploy within the U.S. And if they did, your little good old boy system is not going to fare well for you. Understand that if active duty military actually get deployed within the United States, that weapon is not just pointed at other people, other countries. It's pointed at you. If you...
Wow. I mean, wow. Let's see what Jameson's got to say about that.
That's where she steps on herself. It's like, we don't need a constitution lesson or lesson about martial law after World War II. Most people have any intelligence understand it. But when she starts talking about the weapons pointed at you, just too far. Now, if she said, I had too many Jack Daniels at the E Club, okay.
Yes, Rags.
This is a shitty look and a shitty attitude. You got some woman on TikTok who's ranting. I get it. Not a big fan of the over dramatic lady soccer mom types on TikTok, but she's taking the bait. And she's a young staff sergeant. I guess she's 35. This is going to be a career smackdown at the minimum.
I fucking hope so.
not get in your house when I tell you to, you become the enemy.
Wow. I mean, wow. What? If you don't get in your house when I tell you to, you become the enemy. She's saying that as a serving soldier in uniform to Americans. If you don't get in your house when I tell you, you become the enemy. After previously saying that that gun will be pointing at you. And then people ask why there's a Second Amendment. I'm just like, what? What a horrible little bean this thing is. Sorry to just jump back quickly to the ships, but this is interesting. They had to have men hacking the ice off in 24-hour shifts because otherwise they lost buoyancy and turned over. Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, interesting. Nice one, Craigs. But that's fucking darkness. And then, you know, this conversation has been going around for a while, hasn't it? If it come to it, would the troops fire on civilians? And you've got people saying no, people saying yes. And you've got her absolutely proud as punch. No, I work for Bo Jiden. If you don't get in your house when I say, I'll fucking shoot you. Oh, nice. You're really, really doing the job. Careful, Moslab, just because they won't like that and you might lose your account. But it's fucking unpleasant stuff, isn't it? And she knows it's going out there. She knows it's public. I was blown away by this. And what worries me about it is if she's happy to say this, are her colleagues the same as this? are they all like this? You know, is this what the military is now? Just blatant government fighters? Yes, Mousecat, exactly that. I mean, she basically said to that woman, shut up, or, you know, shut up, we're in charge, and it won't end well for you. I mean, I want to follow this story. We'll have a little bit more.
Martial law, you know, where your rights get curtailed. You don't have all those same freedoms that the Constitution guarantees at that point. So be careful what you wish for.
No, you fucking be careful what you fucking wish for, because I'm hoping by tomorrow morning you're court-martialed. Mind-blowing stuff from her. Absolutely mind-blowing. I'll put the link in so you can sit and just pick your jaw up from the floor as you watch the rest of that. There's another 5 minutes of her going on, and you're just like... And the thing is, you had that other geezer who was a high-ranking Marine, I think. I don't think she is Marine. I think she's just Army. Yeah, that high-ranking Marine who spoke up about Afghanistan, who's currently looking at court-martial, losing his pension and everything, done 20-odd years in the military, and just said about what happened out in Afghanistan. He's fucked. He's a white man. Go on, fuck off. You reckon they're going to treat this potentially, I'm not making any assumptions, but this potentially, you know what I mean. I don't need to say it. You reckon that? You reckon that'll be the same? Or do you reckon the woke media will come out in her defense? Because they didn't come out in his defense. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear from him. They didn't want to tell you his story. But no, I reckon they'll be like, oh no, you can't do that to her. Even though she didn't have to do any pull-ups when she was doing her basic training, because they can't. They can't do them. This is my point, Fionn. That, I mean, I can't say for sure. It's pretty hard stuff to defend, but nothing would surprise me at the moment. Oh, good Lord. John says, this is the norm in the Royal Navy today. They're given fast promotion. Because of all that. Yeah, someone else told me that as well. Someone from the military who you know, but I'm not going to name him because it was off air. I'll give you the link to that. It is worth watching the rest of it. It's just like, what? What? There you go. Right, there's that. 140 people still hanging on to this stream. All right, people. I know I jumped about a little bit today, but not when I haven't got, because when I've got work on and I'm sitting around watching movies all day, I haven't got time to do any research. And also, I didn't really want to have a topic. I just wanted to have a chat, which we did. Call it prattling on if you want. But if you've still got 133 people here after 2 hours, I'm very happy with that. So thank you very much to the people that donated. Thank you to Moslab and Rags for looking after the place. Thank you to everyone who chipped in the chat. Calm it down a little bit, people. We got no need. We start ripping each other to pieces. We've got no chance. I will see you. Rags is telling me entropy. No, there's nothing showing. I will refresh it. This is a bit of a worry because someone else emailed me and said they sent some entropies and they didn't show. And I'm looking at it now. No, not. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Did someone send entropy donations? Not on entropy. What? I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happening with entropy. Rags, what do you mean? I don't know. What have I missed? Oh, nice one. That's very kind of you. That is very kind of you. Are you new in these parts, or have you been lurking? I don't recognise the name, but lovely to see you, mate. And that's a very nice thing you said. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Picking Gaz. Oh, these are nice comments. I was getting a bit concerned. Thank you, Skin Scar. These are all lovely. I don't know why I don't know why I get a little bit concerned. Sorry, Fionn, for missing that. It was in the chat. I'll see if I can find it. If they go off. I've got your last one, Bullet, but I think I've missed. It is nice. I know this is a bit dull for others, but if you've put your hand in your pocket, you do deserve. Minesweepers, I've got that one. Bullet. I can't see it. I can't see it. So I don't know why I can't see it. I will talk to the people at Entropy because someone else earlier said there was a problem. I'll have another look up there. Mad Lizzie put in £2. Is that there? Minesweepers were one of the unsung heroes of World War II. Yeah, fuck that job. I mean, I'm scared of fireworks, let alone actual mines. What were they? How did they work? Because I've seen the tanks where they've just got like that spinning ball of chains. But I've seen one of those World War II mines out of the water. And it's basically just a big ball with loads of detonators sort of stuck around it. And if you just touch one of them, boom. Maybe I'll have to have a look at that. Well, actually, look, maybe I won't go just yet. Because if we could find some footage of an actual minesweeper, I think I'd be quite into that. I doubt we'll get a World War II one. Hang on. How did they actually work? Oh my lord! Yeah, this is worth a little look. Oh, that's terrifying! I just seen some. This is quite frightening. Check this out. Oh, a load of people. 10 people left. They didn't realise there was a reprise. They didn't realise there was an encore. Check this out. There's something weird that happened. It might be the ident for the video, but I jumped a little bit. Check it out. Wow. Oh. So can someone tell me how they do it? How do they blow up? How do they do them? Yeah, exactly that, Moslab. Thank you, Emrys. Scared of fireworks and water. Yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe they use 2 ships and they minesweep with some kind of chain or something in between them. Liam, Pick and Gas, remind me tomorrow because I need a piss. I've got to call the missus. But this, I want to show you this because this looks pretty cool. Let's carry on with this a bit. I'm getting the feeling that ain't a minesweeper, right? So the video said these people are detonating World War II mines in the Baltic Sea. Weird. There must be loads of them floating about. Fuck that job. I'm terrified of going underwater. So what, is that the actual mine or is that like an anchor point? Whoa. Nah, man. There it is, look. Ooh, not for me. Fuck me. Fucking hell. That is no small explosion. You can imagine that taking the nose off a ship. I'm sure it's called the nose as well. Minecraft. Well, only on Minecraft, of course. It's been a pleasure, people. I'll see you about 9:30 / 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Depends how many movies I watch tonight. I ain't doing any writing tonight. I'm having a night off. I'm going to watch some films. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Look after yourselves, people. Hi. No way, John. You're in the Navy. Jesus. Okay, we'll do.
Everyone knows I'm gonna be the first.
We might have to have a stream where we get all the ex-military scrubs on the screen to discuss all that. I'd be way up for that.
Man down. All my friends are sick of having me around.
Good call.
Nobody wants to give a buddy one last break. Can't go on, I've taken all a man can take. Life is a curse, it only gets worse and worse. Watch you drown. Maybe my mind will fail to ever find the
Oh, what have I done now?
I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep.
Yeah, that's the channel I showed you. The old fella talking about the military. It's a good channel. It's a massive channel. Yeah, sure, man.
Looking back out,
Viewer.
every place I stay.
Nice one, Joe.
Woman says,
Is it really the beak you're having me on?
She says, warriors don't give up before the war begins. So I get high to justify the mess I'm in.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there tonight. It's going to happen occasionally. We're strong enough to get over it. St. Harrison has got a film with you at 8:30 UK time tonight. He's like my secret comedy hero. He's old St. Harrison. Nice one, Livy.
Underneath the wave, I'm going deep, deep down underwater.
Wow.
Gonna lay my head on the riverbed.
Yeah, a little bit more of that, Steve. Yeah, it'd be good, wouldn't it? Get all the ex-military people on and just have a little chat. I'll keep my mouth shut for once. There'll be no prattling. You're proper addicted to that stuff now, aren't you, Richard? Have a good one, Ian. Look after him.
I'm going deep, deep down underwater.
Oh, nice one.
Gonna make my grave underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head
Come on, make up, you two.
on the riverbed. I'm going deep, deep down underwater.
Oh Lord, we're running out of time here. Ah, bollocks. I'm going to watch Once Upon a Time in the West. It's an absolute classic. And we're going to end with Community and Bras. Look after yourselves, people. I'll see you. Be quiet, Ball G. I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care, people. Go on, piss off down your own end and watch out for those bombs.